we're going places where more than, they're helping themselves at times, you know.
I would say that
they're short staffed.
we may be helping them more than they are helping us. And so, yeah, you make a case that says we should send them a bill for that. I personally wouldn't want to do that because when we need them, they're gonna come and help us. So
I get it. I get it.
I don't
Kind
know.
of gives you bad blood.
Well, but by the same token, if the accident we went on in there, if we went on an accident in New Carlisle's area, we're sending that person a bill. So the only ones that we aren't sending a bill to anymore, if we go there if we transport as an ambulance, we're going to send that patient a bill. So it'd only be if our engine went on a call and their unit transported. So you're getting down to where it's a pretty small number of those calls that you would be exposed to provide a service and not being able to bill someone for it.
Well, you brought it up, New Carlisle. I'm gonna bring the, mention the name, but everybody knows where I was headed with that, because as Councilman Catanzarite probably knows, Olive Township is receiving a lot of support and help from Amazon, GM, the county, and what kind of support has Warren received in return for going out there so much, and I know that's not something that you can address,
Right.
I get that, but
I agree, there's cases.
they're just sitting back collecting and we're running out there supporting them, which, and I get it, we gotta do that. But a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, what Olive is receiving and New Carlisle is receiving, where we're not.
Yeah.
And back in the day, Steve, I hate to use the word we helped get money for the wells for the 2 new fire stations, get fiber run to the one at Granton, through ARP money and so on. But that was during ARP money, but there's so much going on now out west. I don't know if we're getting our share,
No, I agree, I mean, I appreciate.
and I know you guys have asked.
Right.
Yeah, I know you've asked, and I don't know if you're still asking or what,
Probably asking.
Exactly, I talked to Bill about that and a few others.
I was told Olive had a meeting with the county this week at some point. Augustino told me that yesterday in a sort of one-off conversation, and he kind of threw it away. And I said, so I kind of laid into him a little bit and said, I hope that they're going to do the right thing and tell them the truth, that they're not going to be getting millions of dollars from Amazon or the county to operate their fire service. And,
Well, they think they are.
I know that. Yeah, that's what I mean.
They are, because I talked to some of those people out there, they are dead fast. They think they're gonna have a truckload of money dropped in their lap.
I feel like we're going to continue to struggle until somebody's the bad guy and tells them the truth, because they're operating in fiction.
But that's not, I think that's our territory, because I go kind of circle back. I agree, we should make the case to the county to fund us another ambulance. There's certainly cases, and I think as we mentioned earlier, we're in the process of putting together the information to do those kind of things. Beyond that, I don't know what more we want to have an exact need that we can say here, you have to fund this, because we're, pretty well positioned. We have 2 really nice fire stations. We have really good equipment on our fire trucks. So the need we'd have would be buy some animal. I mean, that could be a need that we could go and see if Amazon, whoever would fund that.
That happened historically, going back to the Allegheny Energy Project, 4 C Road Energy Project. And Allegheny was going to build there. They bought the county units. $300,000, back out $300,000.
See, I just think we need to have that conversation. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose as a board, he could chair up that conversation just as well as.
Yeah, I think it's a multi-pronged effort for sure.
Smart, I'm not afraid to sit down with somebody and ask him for something.
Yeah, no, I definitely, we won't say no if somebody wants to buy something. And we certainly can give a list of things that we could do equipment wise, so.
See, and I don't like to hear the other question.
Gentlemen, can I ask a question? This is just for the taxpayer. How far west does the line go for Warren, whatever we call this now? Before it becomes Union or Olive, whatever it is out.
Stage road.
See,
So right by where the fire was this afternoon.
Yeah, that's probably about.
So the
10.
ditch, so they're using the ditch,
Technically, the ditch is the boundary.
which is also the school boundary.
Correct.
No, it used to be.
Yeah, people use Stage Road just because it's easier, they don't recognize the ditch.
That's just people don't know where it's stuff, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
well, you know, I don't believe in the answer, you know, we don't have any money, you know.
Mhm.
Well, I've been around long enough and so has Mr. Catandra. There's money there. It all depends who wants it and what it's for. So I don't buy that answer, you know.
I agree, if there's money there to get.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, wait a minute now. You just wait up.
I'm trying to figure out what the boundaries are.
You have a
Okay, now I have a daughter who lives on Johnson Road, just across the tracks from them. That is in our fire district.
No,
It's not,
west of the tracks,
just across the tracks off of Crumpstown.
which way across the tracks? West, south?
No, that's not in ours.
The Crumpstown, those tracks, if I'm not mistaken, there's part of it that is on Johnson Road, and part of it is not. I believe we do.
It says it's Warren Township, so that's, I'm gonna.
It may be, she may be right, but
So,
because there's a little bit of blurb that is, so it very well may be.
I have a brother that lives in Green Township. So this is the part I think, and people have a hard time with this. Green Township has no fire district, correct? They have no fire department,
They don't have a firehouse in their township,
so their fire equipment is where?
but they're part of the Liberty Green Fire Territory.
And we still out there to help also.
If they requested help, we would go. We do not automatically go to them.
So Green Township doesn't have a firehouse either, right?
Green Township does not.
So they gotta come from North Liberty.
Correct. North Liberty or Center Township.
That was what kind of York Road.
See, Olive Township doesn't have a fire department either.
Yeah, one of the,
That's good old boys territory out there. I know exactly what you guys, I've been out here long enough, I know what's going on out there. You know. Okay, just so I can get my head, because this was gonna happen, I'm gonna go home, my wife's gonna say, what happened? What am I paying for? And then I have to sit there and tell her, and I can tell her how big the fire district is. I've been married long enough, I like living there.
yeah, so your daughter's house is probably right on was probably maybe the last house. The one that had a chimney fire years ago, was that before or after your daughter's house?
Yes.
Yeah, then your daughter's in our territory. So the chimney fire is I think the last house that's in our,
You know where that little forest preserve they cut out back there is, as you turn off the Johnson, right, turn off the Crumpstown Highway on the Johnson Road. There's that little forest preserve, she's right on the edge of it.
okay,
And that's how, yes, she told us that was
yeah.
a nice place.
Mhm.
Too many mosquitoes for me. Nice place.
Very good. Any other questions?
No, just keep grabbing my hair out, I'm gonna be one of them, but thank you.
Yeah, Chief, next.
So the other one, the training report, if we did recap of our overall number of hours that we do. Probably the one thing to highlight on there is we're still continuing, we did some joint training there with, the South Shore and New Carlisle this year, or this past month. I think those were both beneficial. We actually did a tour of the Amazon facilities out there with them, so we're continuing to train and work well with people.
Stuff in maintenance.
Maintenance, there's not anything major to report on maintenance. I think we had one vehicle, we just had to have a drag arm replaced on the steering mechanism of it. That was about $1,800, but other than that, our parts are still overall really good shape in terms of maintenance needs of that. I don't know if we need to put our maintenance report even on here every month, to be honest with you. It used to be thinking that, I guess I was looking through things that could have a big exposure. But if it's routine maintenance stuff, it's just routine maintenance stuff, which is really what we have. We've had major problems with our equipment in that respect.
Facilities,
Facilities, we're fully in our new station now, operating on that, obviously. I think our last month, getting ready to, because we did that last month. So we're now operating out of the new station. Guys are getting settled in. Still have a wait to do our roof in September, but nothing we're gonna do about that. Production line. Oh,
Is that when that's supposed to be done, September? Did you say September on the roof? Really?
we had a staff injury, and really, I guess the thing to do there, just, again, I look at this as exposure. Anytime you have somebody have an injury, had another guy get injured at our fire this afternoon for the hospital here in the meeting. But with this injury, you always have that exposure of, there could be large costs there. This guy has a rotator cuff involved here. Just make sure you guys are looped in on that. It's a worker related injury. He's actually had his release and he's gonna be back working in the office doing some clerical stuff, helping us out while he's doing some rehab for his shoulder. Initially, we thought it was gonna be surgery, but then looked like it was gonna be surgery and possibly just some physical therapy, and we'll be back going. We'll have a lot to add on that now. And then the last thing I had on there was the EMS billing. And you should have in front of you a copy of some proposed EMS billing rates. And rather than me just deciding what the rates are and that we're gonna go with the 200% markup rate, I guess I wanted an agreement from our board that you guys felt that that's what we should do. You can see on the spreadsheet that you have in front of you that there's at the top, it tells you what the Medicare rates are. Then at the bottom, it tells you what the some other similar like agencies in the area might be billing for those comparable rate lines. And you can see that I think in a lot of cases, they kind of line up with billing the Medicare 200% rate. So I don't know if we have to have that as a motion or agreement or something that says, yeah, I agree, do the 200% marked up Medicare rates as our basis, or in this case, other agencies just kind of rounded it up to whole numbers, but I don't know that that's a big deal difference, but
I don't believe this would need a vote.
I wouldn't think so, but I just didn't want to just say, someone later say, well, why are you billing 200%, Steve? Well, because I picked a number, I just wanted to put it before the board as we're setting up our EMS billings and saying, hey, this is what we're going to charge.
I mean, we could take a vote, or if somebody has an issue with it, they now have the opportunity to make that issue known. Yeah.
More or less.
I often do that in our board meetings. Anybody got a problem with it? Yeah.
so,
We want you to be aware of what we're doing. But,
yeah, can you explain that one more time? I think we're going to a dumb guy.
okay, so
It's the problem with our healthcare system, to be honest with you.
So the top is the Medicare rate analysis. Obviously, the first column there was the Medicare allowable, most likely what you're going to get paid in Medicare scenario. So what most agencies do is they use that times 150% or times 200%, and that becomes your rate that you're billing. Why do you do that? Well, people have private insurance, or if they got to pay themselves direct because they don't have insurance, you're getting that higher rate. But Medicare still sets it. If you do an ALS NE transport, this is the rate you're going to get paid by Medicare. It's no matter what you bill, this is what you're paying. So, set your rates table, your schedule out there, and you say, okay, it's going to be 200% or whatever that rate is. And that, as you can see at the bottom, is what other agencies in our area, what their rates are comparatively, is they're based off that 200% of Medicare. We're not trying to compete for their business, but I don't think we should have rates that are less than that. So roughly the same when you're transported by us or, South Bend, Mishawaka, whoever. If we use the Medicare 200% as our rate, then we're on the same page. So nobody disagrees. I'll move forward with that. Being really good.
I think it makes sense. They can always say no.
Yeah.
next, other.
Mark Canberra from local 2927, Vice President. President, it's been years and I can on vacation. So, we got nothing to report this time, like our other meetings, but I want to say we're having a good rapport with the administration. Our members are happy. Excited about the ambulance service. Resurgence of more enthusiasm, not going to be more, but the ambulance is brought home an element, and the members are really happy to take that challenge on. So, looking forward to it. We just first couple of days, but in circles that you guys are really cohesive and working together to make things happen. We've been on some calls with other departments too, with South Bend, and there's been cohesion on the calls. The South Bend ambulance was dispatched with our ambulance, and it's not like the old, if any of you old guys like me ever saw the movie Mother Ducks and Speed, we're not fighting for patients. It seems like all of us, also mutual cooperation among the agencies that respond to it. Have we done a call with the chief on that? Yeah, so we have side this. It's been a good relationship. Other than that, I have any more report from the meeting.
One other thing, maybe just to add that, me and Mark talked about, our union just came back from a 3-day conference down in the state for the PFFU annual conference. They obviously had a discussion about Senate Bill 1, financing and territories and things of that nature. So I asked Mark to find out who within the state union we could get lobbying and helping us in our quest to get our territory expansion ruling in that. So he's going to come back with some contacts and some names there for us here in the near future for us to set up a meeting to not just get their hopefully lobbying arm and on our side doing it, to give them some movement. Better name, maybe.
We got the
We have the committee chair actually local here.
the state senior member of the state senate. I mean, this really here.
Yeah.
Jake
So
Peschko.
he's
this.
he's gonna see if we can't get that in terms of your time and maybe make a case for doing something down there. So.
Well, as you saw, some of you maybe saw, like I've been kind of rattling the cages about it with the ITA and other folks, and they recommended we loop in our local rep, John, who came to our swearing in.
That's just what I was
You're probably thinking of John Parkhouse.
That's who they recommended we loop in.
No.
Is he our district?
The district, yeah. It was recommended he be looped into all this. I can't imagine that he doesn't know about it like all the rest of them, but
They said they spent 6 hours in that.
Just that topic. So and then I thought maybe if there's beyond just Parkhouse having, Tony, who's the president, might be more in tune if there's other districts around the state that John.
yeah, well, you saw I sent Chief of Madison, I think, Madison County, I think, nine entities were getting ready to join and form a territory, and they canceled it because of it.
Senate Bill 1 about,
40 cents? They can't do it.
I can't do it.
yeah, well, you had 40 cents.
So he's gonna help us make those connections and begin to add another argument out there.
The only guidance I got back was they're hoping to work on a legislative solution for next session. And I said, well, that doesn't help the people who are sort of in crisis right now.
And I don't know how this would for sure work. Me and Mark were talking about this, but if we are able to get the amendment language, whatever, kind of like pressed through the summer session this year, it's voted in early session next year.
Like January.
In January, exactly.
And if he signs it right away,
And then if it's going to be coming into law effective in July, if we have a plan together, if we feel comfortably that, hey, this seems like this is going to happen, you begin to have your meetings, or we begin having meetings first of February. And if all of a sudden they say, no, that doesn't happen, all right, well, then we don't have the final meeting to vote it in, we just say, hey, you know what, no. And, but if they voted in, then we're already positioned. It's almost like at the point, maybe we take our budget that we think we need to have, but we put it out there, we just kind of begin going forward, and we're gonna do it, and we're making it happen, and then
you're asking for something on a laser pace. So you better have you better be talking to the right person that's gonna carry it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
To try to get something done,
I agree.
that quick.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's not impossible, but you better have the right person that's carrying it.
I agree.
Good question would be too, I think, the summer study commission meetings, where there is a ceiling on the topics, I don't know if it is. We need to find that out, and if not, can we get that introduced as a topic for the summer sessions?
Well, I've got it on our state reps radar. Ryan, Maureen and David. And no,
That's where I was headed. I wasn't gonna get into that part of it.
I just kind of put it in their, yeah, I guess Teshka would make sense. Well, I was thinking of the territory, like who represent, I guess Maureen doesn't.
Well, he was the guy who used to work with Penn.
But hot check would be a good one.
Well, that's what I was gonna mention, but
He's a volunteer.
he has his own issues going on right now, but he represents this area.
Yeah, that's great.
And I mean,
West.
and he's gotten some stuff.
Yeah.
He carries some
Forward,
weight now,
you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He'll do Wesco.
Yeah, I can do that. I can broaden that a bit.
I wouldn't loop the hot check in because he represents us.
I'll send myself that note.
Huh? I've got contacts to him.
I'll do that. And then I'll put you guys in copy. But that's not a bad idea, chief. Keep taking the steps forward and hope for the best.
Oh, no,
Keep pushing. I mean, you gotta think the other meetings, conversations that we have with other people. Like this week, Thursday, the Lodi Green, their fire territory board meeting. Thought about just dropping down there and just be the face in the audience and let them know, hey, we're interested, and see the mood out there. I know they've had some change of political leadership in down there, and I think as that begins to happen, maybe get them on board. I don't know, might be negotiates, but let them know we're here to help if they need it.
You know what the date for that meeting is?
Thursday,
This Thursday?
this Thursday.
Okay,
You wanna go with me?
maybe.
Yeah.
I think clearance from the War Department.
Secretary of War.
Speaking of Senate Bill 1, speaking of Senate Bill 1, Commissioner Baxmeyer is going around talking to townships. I know he's gonna go talk to German Township on the 9th, talk about Senate Bill 1. He's coming to our meeting on the 12th.
Did he ask to come?
Yes.
What exactly is the angle there, you think?
I don't know. I don't know, but I wasn't gonna turn it out because I want to hear what he's got to say.
But that's what I'm curious about. I don't know what he would.
Your township meeting?
Yeah.
12?
The 12th.
Well, why doesn't he have to come to Portage Township?
He's coming to speak on these something to us over.
All
But
right.
if we really want to find out, I guess we could go to German Township on the 9th and see what he has to say.
It's not a bad idea. What time's that meeting, Bobby? 5?
Oh,
Yes, or- Yeah, Arcadia, right? Sweet.
I
Okay.
usually avoid township meetings with other townships. I don't want to look like I'm peeing in somebody else's pool.
Well, they didn't throw me out the other night.
All right.
Any other discussion items for this evening?
Just as a note, provided the forest fires don't get any worse, I will be fishing in Canada next week. But as of earlier this week, we have to fly over the forest fire. So the guy was like, not for sure they're gonna allow us to do this. Steve, get to the lodge. He says, we're going up there now to see if we can land and get in. He called me yesterday and said, hey, we're in. We'll see how it goes on Sunday. If I give you the green light that you guys can fly in or not, but we gotta fly over the forest fire.
Oh my gosh.
It makes some people nervous, I guess, I don't know. So
You gotta be a daredevil.
well, that's the private. We fly to Saskatoon and then he charges us from there up to his base.
Get you one of them, get one of those airplanes that dump water and
Yeah.
makes,
You know, away.
Yeah. kill two birds with one stone.
So my wife was like, you sure you want to do They'll say, we'll be fine, but, yeah, so.
Well,
By
good.
that other man, I will be good next week.
Tell Andy I'll take your place. Leave me your coat.
Yeah. Well, lately, we've been, even the guys this morning, when I came in, they're joking that, when we first took our territory over back in January, that first week in January, we had the busiest week we've had in a while, with just a ton of runs, the snowstorm and everything else. We took on the AMBO, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they had 5 runs after 7 o'clock last night on the AMBO.
What's it? Is it M? Is it M something? M19.
And, but if you keep around there, they're self-dispatching the call, so they won't pop on your screen as being dispatched.
Oh, that's
They have
why.
to call and go out, and it's like, hey, that's one that we gotta take, and then they go. That will be changed by the end of the week.
That's why I didn't know, Mark, that they were being, because that's what I was looking for. I was like, oh, they must not have
Yeah,
dispatched
so
it.
that'll, you'll start seeing that.
Okay.
By the end of the week, but they're like, man, put this envelope, and all of a sudden, we're just, they're excited, they wanna make runs, that's what they're here to do. But they were just like, all of a sudden, I got real excited, or real busy, it seemed like when we started.
This week's been busy,
Yeah,
man.
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. So, and then today we got.
You've had a lot of fires.
Yeah.
Is that on the?
It's like just a few houses past the ditch. It's technically New Carlisle's fire, but we were there.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, if not, do we have a motion for adjournment?
I motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, yeah.